Sairam, everyone. Just to recollect where we were, we are studying the 8th chapter of Sri Sathya Sai Vahini, and Swami is talking about the evolution of Jiva. Swami started off with Dvaita philosophy, and Swami mentioned about how the last week we studied what Swami mentioned regarding someone, Jivan Mukta, whose departure from the world, how it takes place, that word merges, sorry to use the word, Vag merges in the mind, Manas. The Manas merges in the Atman, and the Atman moves on to the Surya Loka, from where it will go on to Brahma Loka or something like that. That's what we discussed. We discussed also about what is mind, what is word, speech, and so on. I think the summary was that the speech Swami is talking is Vagindriyam, or Vag is not necessarily a word in language, but it is the thought, because Swami also says that without words one cannot think. So this is something which is in a seed form rather than the word which we all are familiar with. So those were the discussions, and we sort of discussed and said that this speech is much beyond it taking form, similar to the 4 types of speech which is spoken about in the Upanishads: para, pashyanti, madhyama, vaikari. Para itself, that is beyond the manifestation itself. From there, the word originates, the Vag originates. So those are some of the concepts we've discussed. So I will stop here. And I think maybe we'll just quickly read that slide and then move on, I would say, so that, everyone, it's a warm-up of sorts. Saira.
We cannot think without words. Words are the essential material for thought. When the individual drops the body, the words enter the mind enters the prana or life force, and the prana merges in the atma. The atma, individualized in the body, when it liberates itself, rushes to the Surya Loka, the region of the solar principle, the Surya. From thence, it reaches the region of Brahma, the Brahma Loka. Having reached that region, the individualized Atma or Jivatma has no more concern with Prakriti. It will it will exist there till and end of time. It will experience boundless delight. It will have all powers except the powers of creation.
Thank you very much, Kalyani. So I will just pause here. If anyone would like to share any thoughts, I'm sure all of you would have pondered over whatever we studied, and if there was something which you would like to please do so. If not, we will progress further. Okay, Kalyani, I think we'll just move on.
The authority to rule over the cosmos is exclusive to God. God is free from desires of all varieties. Man's duty is but to offer him love and worship him through love. This raises man to the highest status among beings. Those who are unaware of this status or incapable of discharging its responsibilities belong to other categories. They too offer and worship. They too engage themselves in beneficial activity, but they crave for the fruits they hope to gain. They perform acts motivated by a desire to benefit from the results that emerge therefrom. We have helped the helpless, so our path will be smooth and safe. We have uplifted the downtrodden, so we can avoid troubles on our road. We have busied ourselves in singing the glory of the Lord in chorus, bhajan, so we are sure of heaven. These are the calculations of people of this nature who engage themselves in good acts. When such people give up their bodies, that is to say, when such people die, their words will merge in their minds will merge in their prana, and the prana thereafter will merge in the jivi, and the jivatma will travel to the region of the moon principle, the Chandra Loka, that is to say, the loka of the presiding deity of the mind, suggesting that they have to enter again the realm of the mind with all its agitations and turmoils of wants and wishes. In the Chandra Loka, such jivis will experience some satisfaction and delight as long as the consequence of the good acts last. This is why it is said in the scriptures, Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. When the acquired merit is spent, they again enter the world of mortal men. The Jivatma encases itself in a body equipped with sense organs, etc., appropriate to the earned consequences of the deeds of the previous body, and starts another life career. The residence of the soul in the Chandra Loka is what the Hindus refer to as time spent in as a deva in heaven or as an angel according to Christian and Islamic religions. The name Devendra given to the lord of these devas is an indication of a position of authority. Thousands have risen to that position.
Thank you very much, Kalyani. Manianti, shall we read the Telugu, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
జగత్ పరిపాలక పదవి ఈశ్వరునికి తప్ప మరెవ్వరికి లభించదు.
The position of ruling the world or looking after the world is only available to the Lord and not to anyone else.
లభించునది కాదు,
It will never be obtained by anyone.
సర్వవాంఛాధూరుడైన ఈశ్వరునికి ప్రేమారాధన సల్పించు కార్యము తప్ప ఇతరమేమియూ చేయనొల్లకుండనట్టి మహోన్నత మానవుని విషయము ఇది.
So, to worship the Lord in all forms of worship, to demonstrate love and that worship is the only thing which need to be done, and no other activities are allowed or available for such people who are of the highest nature, and this relates to them only. Sorry, it's a very long sentence.
Very long sentence. I think I will break it a little bit.
Yes.
సర్వవాంఛాధూరుడైన ఈశ్వరునికి,
The Lord who is distant from all the desires,
ప్రేమారాధన సల్పించు,
to perform the worship of love,
ఆ కార్యము తప్ప ఇతరమేమియూ చెయ్యనొల్లకుండునట్టి,
except doing that, not doing any other activities,
అట్టి మహోన్నత మానవుని విషయము అది.
such supreme human beings subject is this matter, is this.
Swami is saying that love is the only thing which human beings can do, offer to the Lord.
Yes, Auntie. So Swami is sort of distinguishing two categories of human beings, I think. Because
Yeah.
in this, Swami is talking about the highest type of human beings
Yeah.
who only are performing continuously loveful worship to the Lord, who
Yeah.
is far from all desires.
Ah.
Okay, so
అట్టి మహోన్నతులు కానీ వారిది ఇంకొక తరగతి.
so such greatness కానీ వారి
I think it is it different category is there. Taragati is different category.
so there are other categories
Ah,
who are different from this supreme category. Sorry.
yeah, correct. వీరు కూడాను సత్కర్మలోనర్తురు అర్థుడు కానీ అవి సకామ కర్మలు.
So such people also perform good activities, but all those good activities are with desires.
వారికి ఫలాపేక్షం ఉండియుండును.
They have an attachment to the fruits.
మేము మీరు పేదలకు సహాయము చేసితిమి కనుక మాకు మంచి గతి లభించును.
So we are
సారీ నిరుపేదలు సారీ.
So people who are, who don't have any help, such people, we are supporting them. So for us, our destiny will be good.
లేక మేము సేవ చేసితిమి కనుక మాకు సద్గతి లభించుననియు.
We are doing service, so we will attain a good destination.
పూజలు భజనలు చేసితిమి కనుక మాకు స్వర్గ ప్రాప్తి కలుగుననియు.
We are doing pujas, we are doing bhajans, so we will definitely attain heavens.
ఈ రీతిగా పలువిధ ఫలాపేక్షలతో కర్మలు ఆచరించుతురు.
So they perform activities based along with these types of desires for the results.
అట్టివారు మరణాంతరం అనగా దేహమును వీడిన తరువాత.
So such people at the point of death, that means leaving the body, giving up the body. After that,
పిదప వారి జీవాత్మ బహిర్గతమై.
so auntie, there is
దేహము వీడే తర్వాత
వారి వాక్కు మనసులోను మనస్సు.
వారి వాక్కు మనసులోను మనస్సు ప్రాణములోను ప్రాణము జీవంలోను లీనమై.
So their speech enters the mind enters the prana enters the jivi, and
పిదప వారి జీవాత్మ బహిర్గతమై.
so their jivatma leaves outwards.
చంద్రలోకమునకు తిరుగును.
It goes to Chandra Loka, the lunar world.
అనగా తిరిగి తిరిగి మనోలోకమునకే ఏతెంచును.
So what it means is that again they are turning back to the mind, the world of the mind only.
మనోలోకమున అనగా చంద్రలోకమున కొంత సుఖమును అనుభవించును.
So the world of mind means it is the lunar world of the moon, the lunar world, where for some they will experience some happiness.
అయితే జీవాత్మ సత్కర్మ ఫలము నిలిచి ఉండునంత వరకే ఇట్లు జరుగును.
So for the Jivatma, as long as the fruits of good actions are there, only till such time this will happen.
దానినే క్షీణే పుణ్యే మర్త్యలోకం విశంతి అందరు.
This is what is said in the statement: when the merits are reduced, they will again return to the world of the dead.
ఈ ఫలము వ్యయములు ఐ థింక్ ఆ ఫలములు వ్యయమై పోవటంలోనే అది తిరిగి భూలోకమునకు వచ్చి తన ఇచ్ఛానుసారముగా ఫలమునకు తగిన దేహమును
as long as these good fruits are used up, then they will come again back to the earth, and according to their desires, the fruits of their desires, an appropriate body
ఇంద్రియములను ధరించి
and also take on the indriyas or sensory organs for that,
జీవితములో ప్రవేశించును.
they enter life again.
దీనినే అనగా చంద్రలోక నివాస కాలమును భారతీయులు దీనినే అనగా చంద్రలోక నివాస కాలము.
Okay, so this is what is called the Chandraloka, the residence in the Chandraloka by the Bharatiyas.
అనగా హిందువులు వేలుపు అనియు,
The Hindus call it Velupu means rising అంటే
అల్ల వెలుపున్న
brightness.
క్రిస్తువులు మహమ్మదీయులు దేవదూత అనియు తెలుపుదురు.
So the Christians and the Muhammadian Muslims call it the angels of the angel gods.
I think in other words velupu means devata also.
I think Devata.
Inti velpulu we always say that, no?
Yeah, so Velupu is I think light. Velupu I think because the devas themselves mean they are shining bodies.
Shining bodies, that's
shining,
right.
You know, so devas, the shining beings. You know, Velupu.
Yeah.
Hindus call them the shining beings. The Christians and the Muslims call them an emissary of God.
Yeah. ఈ స్థానమును పొందిన వేలుపులకున్న పేర్లలో సురపతియగు దేవేంద్రుడు.
So in this kind of status, people who attain that, one of the names given is the god of the Lord of the gods.
సురపతి దేవేంద్రుడు ఇందుకు ఉదాహరణము.
So the Devendra, the king of gods, is an example of this.
అది ఒక పదవి పేరు మాత్రమే.
That is only a name for a position.
వేలాది ప్రజలు ఆ పదవిని పొందుదురు.
Thousands have attained that seat or the position of authority. So I will stop here. So Swami is talking about now the second, I think in the previous slide, Swami spoke about the Jivan Muktas, who go to the Surya Loka and merge in the Lord. Here Swami is speaking about the other categories of people. And of course, Swami is starting with a couple of statements about God who has the sole authority for creation and also sustenance of the world. And so I will stop here. I think it should be reasonably straight and direct. If anyone has anything to discuss, we will do so. Swami has packed quite a bit of information here. Yes, Saira Manti.
Those who reach that Surya Loka, they have everything, all the powers except to
power of creation.
Srijana Shakti ledu. Saira.
Thank you. That I think we discussed that in the previous paragraph. Last week also we sort of mentioned. I think there were a few who were disappointed that we won't have the power of creation when we get there, but I will stop there.
So is it saying that the people who go to the Chandraloka, they become like the devatas?
See, so Devata and also Devendra. Okay, Swami is also talking about the Lord of all the Devas.
So is that like one position among the devas, like a higher position or something?
See, Swami is not distinguishing here. Swami didn't say only one person will become Devendra. Thousands have become that, he says. So I will leave it that.
Sairam, only by turns they can become Indras, not all. Only but they take their turn. one term they will remain as Indras and then their position is back to normal.
See, one of the things which Swami has spoken in many discourses is Devendra is nothing but the lord of the Indriyas. Mind itself is the Devendra. It works only through all the Indriyas. So anyone who is in the realm of the mind, desires and so on, has a mind. Every individual also has a mind. So that is the Devendra operating within them. And the Indriyas are all the other devas which possess some power or ability to perform actions, and they always enjoy themselves. So the mind is the one who enjoys as the emperor of all the Indriyas. So that's also another statement. So I will just stop here. Yes, Auntie Saku, please go.
This the Atma which has gone to Chandraloka, after they finish their good merits, they have to come back, take a body, and with all the sense organs and all the good consequences from the previous births. That means they have to start all over again. They will have good merits. At the same time, they will be starting to do the bad activities too. And so I'm thinking whether they will come back and start just like us, normal life. The good and the bad karmas will accumulate again. Is that so?
Okay, thank you, Auntie, for the question. I think there are already a couple of hands up. I think hopefully they have some answers. Or yes, Sister Maha, please go ahead.
I remember this is a question again. So in human birth, we are doing bad karma and good karma. So when we reach to Chandraloka, so we are going to, only the good karma will work. So what about the bad karma? That one only in this world or nothing in, like sometimes they say, no, when you go, you will suffer. That is the question. So bad karma, we are going to suffer only like when we take human birth or when we go to Chandraloka or any other loka.
Okay, thank you, sisters, for the question. I think just to let everyone know, Swami has not yet introduced the concept of naraka here or suffering. So I think let's avoid it for now at least. We can say that for our discussion purposes, I would say we will avoid naraka loka for the time being. I think we are coming back to earth means we will suffer, I guess. But anyone else you are please welcome to discuss any points. Yes, Auntie, Sister Aruna.
Sairam, brother, the Jivan Muktas, they go to Suryaloka. So all the Ati, Attati, Jignasu, all three categories people will say they go to the Chandraloka. What is the enjoy or what is that that is they are going to enjoy means? I didn't understand that. And for the bad karma, whatever they do, then they have to come back. But according to karma, they will be born in the different places according to their karma. Okay, but during that stay, so whoever do the bad, like a ati, they will be born right after death. Kind of, they don't have anything to enjoy or anything like that. Then other two, what is that enjoy? What is that enjoyment only? I'm just trying to understand. We'll see what is that.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you for the
Okay.
questions.
Thank you. Sign up.
I think there are two questions. I think one is Sakwanti talking about, will they come like us and continue I think Sister Maha asked what happens to our bad karmas. And now Sister Aruna has asked, what is that short period of enjoyment where people go and come? So I think maybe I'll just comment on the third question. It's like sister taking a vacation, holiday vacation, going somewhere, flying out somewhere because they have some money. They go enjoy for a few days and then they come back to the regular life. Is what I would say. I will stop here, but anyone else is welcome to comment, Saira. Yes, Brother Tarsan.
Yes, Sairam brother. I will attend the third questions.
Okay, please.
Because of the good karma, they are going to Sandraloka. So once they have finished their deeds and everything, whatever the points, so for an example, we'll say as a points, okay, 500 points. When the points all finished, they have to come back to the earth. There was a story, one person was meditating and the Lord appeared. Then Lord appeared, told, okay, now you can go to the Sandraloka. Then that person asked, what is that difference between Sandraloka and earth? He said, when you go there, once you finish, you have to come back. And he said, I don't want to go to Sandraloka, I want to permanently merge. Then I can stay here, I can do my sadhana, and I can merge with the Lord final stage. So Sandraloka means this is earth is an iron handcuff mean that Sandraloka may be a gold handcuff. Still, you have to come back again to the earth. Thank you, Brother Saira.
Okay, thank you very much, brother. You mentioned 500 points, brother. So if we come with 0 points, will life be completely suffering? I think that's the question Sister Maha asked. If all the 500 used up and then we come, it will be total suffering, is it?
Once you finish that 500 points, then you have to, because you have and your bad karmas all there, then next it's a cycle.
Okay.
Then you have to come back. That cycle is not yet end.
Okay. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, brother. Auntie Sakhu, please go ahead.
Yeah. This explains to us, even when we are doing something good, we should not be expecting any fruits. If when we expect any fruits and we are doing any stage of good activities, you should be not expecting anything, any fruits, but do enjoy what you are doing as an offering to God. This is the lesson is being taught. If you do that, you will go to Brahmaloka and you will never ever come back. But if you do anything good, you will go to Sandraloka, even with your bad karma, but you will enjoy the good karma until such time, and then you will have to come back to earth, take any form, and the suffering, you will bring the vasana of the bad karma, and you have to start with that. And if you do good karma, that you can balance it, or I don't know, but you have to go through. All karmas, good or bad, you have to go through. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thanks. Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Saramana. So, couple of points. So, one is in case of the vacation that you mentioned, it's not that when people go on vacation, they don't face any problems. They can have a flat tire there also. They can have all of that kind of a thing. So though we say like whatever they enjoy and come back, ultimately it is, if we see, I will also take the analogy of a passport and a visa here. So the let's say somebody's either wanting to come from India, Sri Lanka here to Canada. So the whole idea is they take the visa and then they land up here. Let's for once assume that Canada is like heaven kind of a thing. So it's again like they want to stay. Once the visa permit is over, actually they have to go back. But then people try to get a work permit, make it into a PR, make it into a citizenship, and all of that. So it's more like the whole thing of trying to be in Chandraloka, enjoy more of the pleasures that it offers because you want an unending vacation. That part of the tussle goes on, because again, the same thing, as much as possible, either I want a vacation or I want that pleasures to go on. But I think the whole effort for going to Suryaloka is to lose the identity or lose that passport itself. When there is no passport kind of a situation, I'm not saying we should get into that situation, but the idea, like if you have a passport, you have a stamping, you have a visa, you have all of that thing. So that is where I think the whole process of a person becoming like a amanaska, or getting to a stage where there is no small I that exists that wants to enjoy as so long as the doer or the identification exists, then that whole thing of enjoyership exists, and then the shuttle service back and forth happens. But literally, when that kind of a doership is lost, then of course we know the shuttle service is more towards the Suryaloka rather than getting to Chandraloka. But then coming back to what even as I think Swami was explaining this to some of the people once during a conversation when this happens, during when the question about rebirth and so on was asked, and Swami was telling, taking the example of how like they were all seated in the interview room, and there was the smell of this agarbatti that was coming, and Swami was asking, where is this jasmine smell coming from? And then Swami himself answered that that's coming from the agarbatti that's been lit there in the bhajan hall, and that is how the smell is coming. And so Swami says that even as the wind or is carrying, or the air is carrying that fragrance to everybody seated there, Swami was saying how there is this pranavayu, and this pranavayu is what carries the vasanas, and that one ultimately goes into when the birth has to happen, that pranavayu carries the vasanas of that person who has to be born to a similar setting, or like attracts like kind of a setting which is conducive for that. So that is where I think even in at the level of the Chandraloka, since the mind is still active, the pleasures and all of that is enjoyed there, but still the vasanas exist, and that vasanas are the one that come to determine in what circumstances one is born, and which once again guides that person through whatever suffering and all of that thing, the back and forth that happens because they are established at the level of the mind. So I think it comes down to uh, uh, whether we have that not the 500 points or the 0 points kind of a thing, but what is it in the state of like, where am I looking for? Am I having that kind of a devotion that will guide me into a spiritual family and help me walk that path to Swami? Or I continue, I have earned my merit, and then I keep thinking that I look forward to more of the world than Lord, which will guide me to where I am born and what goes forward. But I'll stop here. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Thank you. Sister Aruna.
Sairam, brother. I'm just again the same question. I'm still thinking, is even the vacation or anything, the analogy, we take it even. What is the exact enjoyment Swami is trying to talk about that in Chandraloka for the period of time? Only I'm trying to understand. Not vacation will give you all the time the pleasure or anything, but what is Chandraloka is going to give us like a I know Jivan, we all reborn again because we were not Jivan Muktas. Otherwise, we wouldn't have born in this world. So, what is that enjoyment? It's a keeping away from world, or it's that's something I wanted to understand. What is really Swami is talking about? Thank you, Sairam.
Thank
Can
you.
Can I answer that question?
Yes, Andy, please go ahead.
Okay. See, we are just now in Upanishad Vahini, we are studying about Nachiketa. He asked this question, what is that Swargaloka where? All the enjoyments. That enjoyments, I just I would like to give a small this thing, what I learned from reading. There are six things which people will not have to go through there. One is Jara Marana, that's one group. Next is hunger and thirst, that's two. Again, Shoka and Moha. These six things will not exist in Swargaloka. If I am Chandraloka means Swargaloka only, you know? Yeah. In Swargaloka, these things will not exist. So the Jiva which goes there, he will enjoy the rest of the things. He will never grow old. He will never have any thirst or hunger, or he will not have any kind of sorrow, grief, or any kind of delusion. These things he enjoys. That's what I have heard. Saira.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you. Yes, Saku Auntie.
Yeah, you know, when you go to Chandraloka, there's no karma. You cannot do any new karma. You cannot accumulate any new karma. You go with whatever the Jivatma has earned, the good karma by doing all bhajans, all sevas, but with an expectation of fruit. That's why they are there. Even then, they cannot accumulate or start new karma. Whatever the karma, the good karma, they will finish it. And then with the bad karma, they have to come back and be born in the earth and continue their life. This is, I just read the third paragraph and got it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Yes, Brother James, please go ahead.
Yeah, Sairam, I think because Baba has not explained what are the pleasures of Chandraloka. So when the Jivatma is there without the body, it has that freedom to enjoy whatever the pleasures are of Chandraloka. Because with the body in this realm, we go through sorrows, happiness, all according to all the desires and senses we have. The life there, probably we don't know. There's no explanation in that. It's different than the realm that we are, the Jivatma with the body here is. So I guess the freedom is there of the Jivatma to enjoy whatever the pleasures of that loka or the realm is. This is my opinion. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Brother James. Yes, Sanjay, please go ahead.
Sairam, no, to Sister Aruna's question. I think, and Auntie Mani Auntie gave the more technical answer, but the way one could understand it more in a more simple manner is, I think, see, our natural state is one of happiness. We appropriate the problems of the body and mind onto ourselves and suffer. So it is not that when you say, for example, you have an exam that you are studying for, and you study hard for a few months, you finish the exam, and try to imagine the feeling that you have the next day. It is not that you're suddenly enjoying something, but the tension and the worry of the exam is gone, and now you're in a state of happiness. So it is not that when we go to Chandraloka, suddenly all the pleasures of what we imagine in the world are presented to us. It is just the absence of suffering that in itself it translates to sukham. Is what, unlike in many other theistic religions, they do talk about, pleasures that are presented to you when you go to heaven. And that may very well be the case, I think. But the way I understand it, it's the absence of suffering that results in a sukham or happiness or enjoyment.
Thank you very much, Sanjay. Thank you. Sister Aruna, you would like to respond?
Sairam, brother. So now I got a little bit of understanding also. The enjoyment, is it a good to say that the enjoyment means away from the world? Like Mani Aunty said, there's no hunger, thirst. Now Brother Sanjay said it's suffering, no suffering. So the enjoyment mean away from the world, closer to approximate to the Lord kind of thing. That is the enjoyment referred. Then according to karma we born again. That's what now after discussion I'm thinking that's maybe the thing, but I would like to hear from you too. Thanks, Saira.
Sairam, sister. Yes, Sai Satish.
Sorry, Ramana. Mine is having a part question, part answer. So the thing is, when we are in the Chandraloka, basically of the 5 sheets, the Annamaya Kosha is dropped, the Pranamaya Kosha is dropped. So that is where when Mani Aunty said, Annamaya is dropped, so there is no birth or death. And Pranamaya is dropped, so there is no hunger or thirst. But Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, those 3 exist. And now that is where I'm finding it a little
Which 3 Sai Satish? Which 3 exist?
Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha still exist.
Yes.
Because at the Chandraloka, those 3 exist. And now when Mani Aunty said that the 6th aspect, the 5 and 6, that is the Shoka and Moha, are also not there. There I'm finding it a little challenging because the mind is still existing. And if the mind is existing, it is not only it enjoying the pleasures, and as long as the mind is existing, that means there is very much of the Dvaita that is still there. And if there is Dvaita, if there is pleasure, there should be pain as well. So that part, while the Janana Marana and the hunger thirst part is fine, the last 2 of Shoka and Moha, that one I'm still trying to. I do understand you're like on a vacation mode. The kind of the senses are still existing in, if not the sense organs, at least in terms of because the mind exists, the Devendra exists, the Indriya. But I'm just trying to say, may not be at the level of the sense organs, but still the focus of the external is there. So long as the perception of the mind and the senses surrounding it is there, the enjoyment part still comes in. But I'm still trying to understand the Shoka and Moha, how they are absent, because though we say heaven and all of that, it's still bundled by the thing. So I was thinking that it should be a package, since the person is there, still they have that. But I'll just pause here, Saira.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Yes, Brother Tasan, please go ahead.
Brother, I'm not going to confuse anyone. If we take the Mahabharata, the Arjuna went to heaven, then he learned all the Acharya's things. So, and Urvasi also there, whatever you mentioned, they don't get age. So they also having, all kind of activities. That part still I couldn't, understand when we are comparing this one. Thank you, brother.
Yes, brother. So Arjuna didn't die and he went to Devendra.
No, he didn't die. He just
Exactly.
while he was on the live, he went there. He stayed for some period of time, and he learned all the war instruments, whatever is there. they were trained there, and he came.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, brother. So you didn't want to confuse, but you're confused.
Yes.
Okay, Sahir.
Thank you,
Yes,
brother.
brother James.
Yeah, I think we are there to when we go to the heavenly planets. I think we are there to save our good karmas, and the life there is still temporary. We still have to come back, because if we were like totally good, totally uh, merged, we wouldn't be traveling to any other locus. We will be merged into the absolute and become the absolute. But since we are not there, we are still traveling, and we are still saving our karmas, except for the heavenly planets. I think we are saving our good karmas, but we still have the accumulated karma that we have to save, and we are coming back. I think the life there is temporary. Yeah, this is my opinion, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother.
Arun, please say, can you explain whatever we have discussed so far?
Yes, and
Yeah.
I wanted to give everyone the chance.
Yeah.
Yes, Sister Maha, please go ahead.
I remember that I'm coming back at the same question. So when we do,
Okay, it's okay.
It will
Sister
answer.
Maha. I will try my best.
okay,
Arun, next paragraph, Swami is
I will
giving,
Yes,
next paragraph, Swami is giving an answer to Maha. Sai Ram.
yes, I know. Yes. Yeah, the thing is, I think many of these things will be answered. So, because otherwise, that's the whole purpose of Swami writing this. I think I will just share some thoughts. First of all, we should understand that here what Swami is talking about is the Dvaita philosophy. And as we can see, many things don't add up. There are too many questions more than the answers in the Dvaita philosophy. And I think Swami will clear that at the end of the chapter and the next chapter. So I think we should understand that, number one. Number two, the Chandraloka and Surya Loka know physical locations. They are not on the physical locations, they are subtle forms of world. Now again, these are some things which Swami has told. Swami will say the heaven and the hell are in the world itself. So the thing is then, how can people enjoy in the Devaloka? I think Mani Aunty said they will not have hunger, thirst. They will not have disease and old age. And then they will have shoka and dukkha. These are not available there. So what it basically means is, so then if heaven is on earth, if you're born in a very rich family, you are very young, you don't have any ill health. So that time, during that space of time, you will not have hunger and thirst because there's enough food and water at home. You will not have old age and because you are not old yet. You don't have die because you are healthy. And also you no worries, everything is perfect around you. It looks as if your life itself is heavenly. Many people in this world experience it. For a short while, and sometimes we'll think, how come they are all bad people, they are enjoying? The reason is they have done some good thing. So there's a period of our life we enjoy all that. When that is done, then the same people, rich people can become very poor, health people can become very diseased, they will also experience death and all that. So the thing is, in all of our lives, there are short periods of time when we also enjoy in this world a state where we are not exposed to any of this. But the whole thing is, they never last. It's a very temporary phenomenon for everyone in this world. But then there are people who are born, birth to death, they are always facing challenges, struggles, tiring. That means they had not done anything good in the previous. Accumulated credit is very low. So the thing is, Chandraloka and Surya Loka are physical locations where suddenly we go and land there and see, if there's no hunger, then you don't need to eat. So things like that. If there's no thirst, you don't need to drink. Then what do you do to be happy? And I think Sai Satish said, it is all within us. So these are philosophy of the Dvaita, school of thought. So there they posit these things, Surya Loka, Chandra Loka. Then they will say, we went to the moon and we didn't see anyone there. There are people, atheists making fun of this, saying in sun, Surya Loka, where they will get burnt. Things like that. And people said, I went to Chandraloka and I didn't see Shiva's hair anywhere. If the moon is on his head, thing. This type of jokes get made. But the reality is these are concepts. They are not physical locations. Though they are given names which refer to certain physical objects like Chandra or Surya. But ultimately these are of planes of existence. Even in our own life, we have different planes of existence, physical, mental, but the whole idea is to going towards, the Atma Jnana, where, as Sai Satish was asking, where's the mind? When the mind only exists to enjoy the mental pleasures. So a person who is in a rich family, they have their body with them, so they don't have hunger and thirst. If you don't have body, then how can there be? Even the concepts of hunger and thirst also doesn't come into play. If you don't have the mental body, then you don't have certain things. So I will stop here. Mani Auntie, please go ahead.
I was trying to take it from Kathopanishad itself.
Yes, Auntie.
So Puranas mention about this Swargaloka, enjoyment, all those things. Even in Upanishad, it has been mentioned again. But as far as Atmic level is concerned, what you say is correct. But according to the prescribed epics are there to tell us about that. But that we read it and then we believe it. That's it. For Sai Satish, this thing, Shoka and Moha. When there is no suffering, there is no Shoka. You know not, and there is nobody for you to get attached there, Moha. So that's why how I said these two things are mentioned in Kathopanishad, so I brought it back.
Yes, and thank you. It's good that you brought it up.
Yeah,
because in the Kathopanishad, I think my understanding is in the Kathopanishad it's mentioned because Nachiketas was not yet in the Atmic Jnana level. So the thing is, he is also, he wants to learn about Atmic Jnana.
Yeah.
So I think Yama Raja is telling about these things because he is in the dualistic plane of existence until he understands Atmic Jnana. Only for that sake, I think the Upanishad mentions these things, but it also, at the end of it, I think he understands who is Atman.
Second question was about this Swargaloka.
Yes, exactly.
Second question was about Swargaloka. So that Swami also has mentioned there. So I just brought it here.
Yes.
And the third question is about Atman.
Yes. So I think only in respect to the question, the Jamaraj is asking, giving the answer. But I think, okay, I will stop there. Otherwise, we are going to slightly different topic. So I will, this is, okay, thank you. Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Saramana, I was just trying to, again, walk down this path. Swami says, here the process where the word merges in the mind merges in the prana merges in the Atma, and that GV, based on, of course, the thing, if they have not done karma phala tyaga, then they go to the Chandraloka. So while I completely understand what you're saying, that literally our state of mind is what defines heaven or hell, and that is more of an in this framework, when I have the body and all of the sense organs, senses, mind, and all of that, that is fine, Anna. But now when Swami is coming to the aspect of word merging and all the way that tracing to the Atma, and then that GV then making that, it really is going back to, like, if we take the Om Bhurbhuva Swa, Swami would say that Bhuloka, Bhuarloka, Suarloka, all of that in terms of the planes that you're saying, that people exist. So literally all of those, we have the 14 worlds in terms of 7 up, including the earth, and 7 down. So that is where I'm still trying to see that this is something that we are talking when the body is dropped, when the vital airs, the prana leaves the body. So we are talking of that state when the body is literally, when the person dies. So that is where it is not at the level when a person lives in this world having that state of mind, but when they drop this mortal coil. And so again, going along that path, that's where I'm trying to trace that journey forward where that would really lead up to.
Thank you, Sai Sathis, for the question. So I will, I can only talk about shloka from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Vasamsi Jirnani. I don't go into the detail. So Swami says, just the way the body is dropped, just the way a person from childhood to old age, a person changes. The body changes. The body which you had yesterday is not the body you have today. Because something has changed. The body yesterday was dead, and today you have a body which actually continues from where you left off. In the Sanatana philosophy, and the belief is that with every breath you are born, with every out breath you are dead. So it's their independent existence. This is the understanding. Then you will ask me the question, so where is the body, mind merging, with the prana and so on. So I think if we really analyze every experience of ours, even a pleasurable experience, for example, I don't know, people who like a cup of tea or something, they want a cup of tea. Or some people who want a laddu, they want a laddu. So, the mind is agitated. Why we need laddu? How can I make it? Those are things which you think, okay? The prana is the one which makes it happen. But what happens when you have got the laddu which you have wanted? When you're eating, you even forget the word laddu. Okay, the mind, now that thought that I don't have laddu doesn't exist. The thought which wanted that desire doesn't exist. That is submerged into prana, action. Okay, now you have gotten the action, and that has put the laddu in the mouth. Now the action is also dropped. You don't need the action. Now the tongue is tasting it. That only the tongue is tasting, the indriya is tasting it, and the mind is the one who experiences pleasure. So if in every activity of ours, when we look at that point at which we are completely enjoying something, our thoughts that don't exist, our mind doesn't exist, prana is stilled, and you feel calm. For a second of that, everyone enjoys some pleasure. Okay, at that point in time, but then the Vedantins will take it to some other level and say, even mind which was agitated is now at rest. At that time, the Brahmananda, the Anandamaya Kosha in you is briefly experienced by you. So, for you to experience that briefly, that sukha, the physical body should be not. The prana should be not. Even actually, people don't breathe when something like that, and the mind is also stilled. At that time, you experience bliss for a very short while. But that does not last, because once that is done, again, you're back to square one. So I'm talking in terms of Sanatana Dharma, Advaitic perspective, what this is. But if you look at it as a physical dropping the dead, and then something is merging into something else, and something is going as a seed. Yes, it may be true when there's a transmigration of the body, no doubt. But again, that experience of even happiness of the mental nature is only possible when you are in a body. Because the mind itself becomes a seed when this transmigration happens. This is the general understanding. So I think that comes through in what Swami said in Telugu, if I am, he will say again, to experience it, you had to come into the mental world or something like that. I think I have to read the Telugu piece. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, we are looking at the whole thing is any experience is possible only when the mind blossoms, even in the Devaloka. Okay, that's why brother Dasan was talking about Arjuna going to Devendra, okay, Devaloka, without dropping the body. Okay, so, but then you can ask, how can a person, how did he go? Is the thing is, without dying, not without dropping the body, without dying, he went there. Actually, he didn't go with the physical body. It's a mental experience, is my understanding. But Mahabharata is a story. But I think Swami is saying, see, Swami said, Vachittana, Swami says, Palamunaku tagina dehamunu, Indriyamulanu dharinchi jeevitamulo pravesinchunu. So there are other places where Swami has spoken, where unless you take a physical birth, the mind itself doesn't blossom. But of course, then we can talk about spirits which are moving around and so on. That's a separate story, but I will stop here. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts? Please go ahead. I should not monopolize this. I think Sai Satish, I don't think it may be convincing, but I will leave it. I think some of these things will resolved as we move, read on. Okay, maybe I should, I didn't want to give it up. The last sentence in this chapter, Swami says, in the Advaita philosophy, there is no heaven nor hell. So I will just stop that. But we'll go back to reading.
Thank you.
Sai.
Sai Rama.
Thanks, Anna.
Just one question before we move on. Where it says the Lord who is distant from all desires, is there any specific reason why Swami specifically mentions that there?
Very good question, Kalyani. I think the answer to that question is, how do we worship the Lord who is free, far from desires? Okay, I think that's the answer, I would say, in a nutshell. But I will open it for discussion. Why did Swami says, Vancha Dhuram, that's the God who is very, very far from desires. God is someone who is far from desires. We should worship that God. Okay, that is the best among human beings, worship that God. That's what Swami has said.
Can I read Telugu there in that sentence?
Yes, Auntie, please.
Sarva vancha durudaina Ishwaruniki ప్రేమ ఆరాధన సల్పించు కార్యము తప్ప ఇతర మేమియో చెయ్యనొల్లకుంటున్నట్టి మహోన్నత మానవుని విషయము. Manava has got only duty of offering love to that Lord. He doesn't expect anything from anyone. Vancha durudu, Ishvara doesn't expect anything from anyone or any gift from anyone or any desire from anyone. But he is happy and blesses with the love that we offer to him. Saira.
Thank you very much, Auntie. I think I will have to quote Sai Satish here, who quotes Swami always. That where there is Kama, there is no Rama. Where there is Rama, there is no Kama. So if there are desires, the Lord doesn't exist there. So that means to worship a Lord who is far from desires, we should become far from desires. Only then our worship is prema aradhana, worship for the sake of love, not worship for the sake of anything in this world. That's my understanding. Then Swami categorizes such people as mahonnata manavu. That means they are the supreme, the highest among human beings. There are others who are engaged in all good activities. That's how Swami continues on. So the pinnacle of human existence is to worship the Lord, distancing ourselves from all desires with total love for the sake of just being near the Lord. That's my understanding, Kalyani. I hope that's clear. I think Sister Aruna asked the question and then dropped.
No, brother, thank you so much. I think this discussion gave us little bit of understanding. I think is more to go. But I'm just thinking about the desire part. That means when you don't have any desire towards the world, only Swami is talking about. Nothing, right? That is, if you do not have it only, then God will be there with you. That's mean. Thank you, Saira.
Yes, Sanjay, please go ahead.
I think the question was why Swami is mentioning God is free from desires. Correct?
Yes, Sanjay.
Yeah. I mean, I think the
the word is
simple
sarva
way
vancha.
to
See, the word is sarva vancha dhurudaina.
yeah,
Okay.
all wants is far from all any wants, right? All wants. I think I would understand it very simply as, how can he who owns everything, who has created everything, has everything, want anything, right? I mean, I think if you analyze our own likes and dislikes that come about, it is because there is a constant sense of separation from the object that we desire. When there is the duality is only when desires crop up. We don't have something we wanted. We are not able to enjoy something. We want that enjoyment. I think in the case of the creator, when everything is how can you ever have a desire? And I think in this sense, the next sentence is kind of can seem a little bit, if for a lack of a better word, I'm ordering you to love me, which can be. Sorry, Aruna, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's the same sentence I wanted to say, but go ahead.
Yes, the same Telugu sentence, but in English, it's separated out. Man's duties, but to offer in love could seem almost like I command you to do that, and that can seem to be like why is God commanding us to do that? And I think it has to be understood in this context. Sorry, go ahead.
I will interrupt you because Swami did not say it's a duty in Telugu.
Okay.
That's why I'm telling you, sometimes the translation is very misleading. Swami basically says the highest among human beings offer loveful worship to the Lord without regard for anything else. So they offer loveful worship to the Lord without doing anything else to the Lord who is distant from desires. That's all the statement says. Okay. But in the translation, I know it can very, God is saying, oh, it's I'm commanding. It comes like that. It's unfortunate.
There is nothing mention of the man's duty is to offer. No, it doesn't say that.
Okay, Sanjay.
True. No, that's true actually. But even in the context of, because this is often a thought that creates a little bit of disconnect among the youth in general, not just in our, in most religious circles, right? That's the thing. And the way I understood it, even in the context of the English translation, is most of anyone else who has a desire, it always ends up being a transactional relationship. And who better to love, who better to worship than the one who has no desires, right? Because the object of your worship will never fault you for not doing something correctly or doing something incorrectly or not appeasing or not be in that sense, right? So I feel even in the context of the English translation, I thought it was a very beautiful way to understand who better to worship than the one who has no desires. Because anyone else who has desires, you try to please them, you will never succeed. One day or the other, Swami says, friends come and go, the frog example and so on and so forth. So it's who better to worship and form a lasting relationship with than with the one who has no desires. I thought that was a beautiful sentiment here.
Thank you very much, Sanjay. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think, the advantage of interpreting that is to have that fundamental understanding of what love is, and I think, thank you very much for bringing it out and discussing. Thanks. Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Sai Ramana. So again, from the point of view of desires, what far away from desires, I think every time the blessing is given, they say mano vancha phala siddhirastu, in the sense like, may the desires of your mind be fulfilled. That's how. But then I would say for Ishvara, who is in the state of amanaska, when there is no mind, there is no desire. So he is very, very far away from that aspect itself, established only in the self. Because ultimately, what is the mind? Mind is a bundle of desires. So ultimately, when and that state where one is established purely in the Atman, and there is no Dvaita Bhava, there is no mind, there is no desire, so he's very far away from desires. So, Saira.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Sairam, brother. So it seemed like the desire now far away, God will be far away. So it's looked like the whole creation is from the Lord. So we shouldn't have the think of having to possess within us. Seeing that is for everyone. That way only you can take out the desire. That's my thought on that. Thank you.
Thank you, sisters. Thank you. Yes, Sister Shivani.
Sai Ram. I don't know if this is something I heard. I don't know if Swami said or it's just I created, my mind created. Any prayer with desires does not reach to the Lord, but to Devas. And if we are referring, if it's right, then are we referring Devas as mentioned in this last paragraph? Angels or what they call in Christianity and Islam.
Yeah, a good question, sister. I will ask others to share their thoughts on this. So if God is far from desires, when we worship him with desires, who does it reach? So that's sister's question, whether it reaches the devas. Thank you, sister. I will wait for others to respond. Yes, Auntie Saku, please go ahead.
Sairam, to love God without any desires, I can recollect Bhakta Prahalada and Meera. I just want to know about Antal and all the other, like Nayan man. They wanted to merge with God. So that was the main thought in there, but they merged with God. So I'm asking, I'm little confused about this. They had that only one desire, but yet they were merged with God. So I just want to know, is it right or is it wrong?
Okay, I will also pose that question to others, Auntie. Yes, Brother James, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, we are talking about worshiping God with desires. So isn't worshiping, maybe brother, you can answer this question for me. Isn't worshiping God a desire? Even like we pray to God, isn't that a desire also? Maybe you can enlighten me.
Yes, very good question. So now, brother has posed another question. Is worshipping God also desire? Is God away far from that also? Okay, I think that's, yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to the earlier question. So it's like what we have. We know, like we pray to Lord Ganesha as the remover of obstacles. So in general, again, this is from the basic understanding that every, like how we have the hospitals for taking care of the health, again, the same thing for any fire and so on. We have the fire department, like each of the frameworks that is established. Likewise, in a general sense, the feeling is you have certain demigods or deities or devas, kind of portfolio management kind of a thing. But that's where it is ultimately whom we are praying to and for what we are praying decides whether it goes ultimately to the Paramatman, or again the same way of how things are set up. Are we like what Brother Sanjay also mentioned? Is it something at a transactional level or whether it is something at a transcendental level? So I'm doing this and I ask this of you, then again it goes of give and take, which clearly sets expectations as to where and to whom we are addressing, versus that thing of ultimately praying to the Lord for himself, or worshipping the Lord for the Lord's sake, kind of a thing. That itself will kind of see where it goes. I think one of the sessions Swami had mentioned that these kind of things go to um, other devatas, kind of a thing where it needs to be addressed. But when it comes to, I think it is, I'm sorry, I'm not able to remember the exact thing when it is service, love, or another thing which comes directly to Bhagawan, kind of a thing. But I will stop there. But in general, it looks like the same kind of a management system we have in the Iha also is there in the Para.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. I think Sai Satish mentioned about, I think there are 1 or 2 domains only God looks after. The rest of the domains he doesn't look after. I think that's what you're referring to. Anyone else would like to? There are I think one question. Yes, Auntie Mani, please go ahead.
Just like different departments in a government, we have Lakshmi for the wealth, Saraswati for education, Ganesha to ward off all the obstacles. Just like, we have Ishta Devatas, we have our own Ishta Devatas to whom we pray to satisfy our, to grant our requests. So that's what I feel, Sairam. They are all demigods. They're all demigods. But then Saguna Brahman is different and Nirguna Brahman is far away. But for these people, these are the demigods. They are deities, what we call, to whom we pray. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Sairam, brother. It's a worship means what we are worshipping is the question, right? If we do worship without any desire, we already studied, right? Without any desire, and you do it as a serve for and for your peace of mind. That is, I think, is a worship. It's not asking for any desire kind of things. We shouldn't worship. That's my understanding. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Sister. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts? Okay, maybe. Anyway, yes, Sanjay, please go ahead.
No, I'll just say one thing. I think the desire for the Lord is not a bad thing. Pining for the Lord, yearning for the Lord. Meera did that. Mirabai did that. So many devotees have done that. Until you get to the point where you don't see the Lord different from yourself. I think there's a beautiful story that Swami has mentioned about when Krishna visits Radha after everything is done, and he and somebody can correct me on this if I'm getting anything wrong. I think Lord Krishna was hoping that Radha would be so thrilled to see him. And I think he got not he got there, but Radha responded very differently, because in her mind, she said, I never missed you. I never was not in your presence. Until one gets to that point, I think the pining and yearning if there is any desire that has to be had in the world, in our life rather, that is the only thing that's worth having. Nothing wrong with that. But desiring for the Lord to solve our desires is a different issue, which also we start with, and then hopefully as we do this thing, the purification of mind that Swami talks about in the previous section happens, and slowly as the purification happens, the desire will be more and more for him alone.
So,
Thank you very much, Sanjay. Thank you. So maybe we'll
Brother Sairam, before you cover before you conclude this, so what is desire for God also we have to know, right?
Yes.
What is desire? So what is Amira and them? How I don't think they had a desire. They looked at the law of God differently. They saw everything as God, including them. That's how I'm thinking. So in that perspective, if the desire comes, we'll see what's how the answers are going to come on that. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. So I will just go with the question Sister Shivani asked. What happens with the prayers which we offer to God with desires? Okay, I think others have already mentioned different departments. So what happens in any organization, if somebody sends a note to the CEO regarding a particular trouble or problem, right away that will be forwarded to the respective department. So, but you can be assured that the department will receive it. That's the advantage of, going up to escalating the matter to the top of the chain. Okay. Generally, they will forward it to the appropriate department and they will deal with it. Okay. So I think, Sister Shivani, I think that's what happens. So that's my understanding. So that's that. Then Auntie Saku asked the question, did Myanmar's, they also wanted merger and things like that. I'm sure in their own way, we don't know which Myanmar's, and if a devotee pined for merger and worked towards it, I'm sure they would have reached. So, there are so many Nayanars, and I think there can be debate as to who attained moksha and who did not. So I will not get into that. Because only the person who has attained moksha can tell that they attained moksha, not people who are remaining on earth. So I will leave it at that. Generally, Swami, if he has talked about somebody, then we can talk. So I will leave that. Then the third question, Brother James asked about desire for God. So my understanding, as Sister Aruna has already mentioned, desire for God, desire itself is something of selfish nature, in the sense, I want it for my own self. Even in the Krishna Avatara, there were devotees who are very selfishly desired. The best among them is Satyabhama, who did not want Krishna. She did not want to share Krishna with others. So then that becomes a selfish desire, because we want to possess something. When desire means we want to possess exclusively for ourselves, I think that is the problem. I think the way, for example, if we go to the ocean or to the lake here, so vast, we can't, but when just by looking at the lake or fire, we are thrilled. We want to go and have a look at the ocean, or we may go and watch a natural scenery, or we may look at the sunset. These I would not call desires, but they're just wishes which grant us peace or a certain sense of bliss. We are not hoping to possess it solely, exclusively. So I think the word desire, it's a very generic term. Where there is selfishness, there's no love, as Swami said. Where there is no selfishness, there is love. So I think desire for God in the sense I want to pining to have his darshan, being able to connect to him, not exclusively for ourselves, possess it directly. I don't think it falls under the category of desires which Swami, vancha, that's the word Swami has used, a want or a need to satisfy a physical or mental need exclusively from a selfish perspective, is my understanding. I hope that answers, that's my understanding. I just shared it. Yes, Sister Shivani, please go ahead.
So the second part of my question was also the demigods or devas, where what different departments we are talking about, where our prayer for desire goes to, are the same. Are we referring here in the last 4 or 5 lines in the last paragraph?
Yes, sister.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thanks.
Exactly. You have answered your question. So
I do that often.
so yes, Mani Aunty, please go ahead. Until the Dvaita Bhava exists, till we reach that point when I and you are one, that it's a yearning for Lord. That's not wrong, I feel. Sairam. Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please? So I think, I think whether, I don't know whether people are tired for the topic or whether, everyone is happy with what we have discussed. Maybe we'll just go to the next slide and read Kalyani and we can break because we have 4 minutes. Yes, Sanjay, please go ahead.
I have a slightly technical question, and maybe it might get answered later. In one of the earlier chapters, I think at the beginning of the Sathya Sai Vahini's, Swami talks about everything that is apart from everything that is in Prakriti is an interplay between prana and akasha. Yes. Right? So in this sequence that Swami has mentioned multiple times here, where the prana withdraws into the jivi, and the jivi goes into the Chandraloka. So the jivi is in the subtle, is in the seed state. The seed state also, would it be correct to say that is also jada? And if so, then what does it mean when prana withdraws into the jivi? Is prana and akasha no longer interplaying, or is it zero prana and one akasha, in the ratio sense? Is that what it is? And I don't know even if this is an appropriate question, but something that I was thinking of, yeah.
Thank you very much, Sanjay. So it's a good question. I will open it for others to share your thoughts. Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Saramana, so how the tortoise withdraws its limbs, it doesn't mean that the limbs are not there. It is only withdrawn. Like Swami, it also tells in the other Vahini thing where we are reading, so long as we have the finger, the nail will keep growing. So I think in that context, so long as the subtle exists, the causal will exist. And it is only when the subtle also goes away and one is established in the, I'm sorry, when the subtle exists, the gross exists. But when the subtle goes away and one is in the causal, only then is the withdrawal complete. So what I'm trying to say is, in the case where we are still talking about the prana merging in the Atman for that GV and they are transiting or going to Chandraloka, all of that part, I think it is only at a level of withdrawal, but not at the level of loss, complete, like where the subtle level of the mind is not lost, but it is only withdrawn, which means it still exists at that causal level, the subtle level still exists. And so when the subtle level exists, that means the gross level also has to finally end up manifesting. So the interplay of prana and akasha will continue to be for that GV, because the subtle and the subtle will ultimately lead to the gross existing. So it is withdrawal that is happening, but not complete state of amanaska, where the absolute loss of the subtle thing happens, where literally there is no finger and so there is no nail. But I'll pause there, Saram.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. So just to add to what Sai Satish mentioned, the Akasha is not mentioned because everything happens, all the lokas exist in an Akasha. The Akasha is, is the space within which things happen. Prana acts on the Akasha, and that's how things happen. I think that's what Swami has mentioned. So I think a GV is all still in the Chittakasha world. He is, though within the Chidakasha, he is just a fragment. I think this is something which Swami has discussed in Sandhya Nivarani. So everything functions within the Akasha. Akasha is all encompassing, while it is a Chidakasha. But the Jivis who is in the Chandraloka is still in the Chittakasha phase, where the Chitta or the mind principle is still active. Even though, for an individual GV, that part of the Chittakasha within which it existed, that may sort of be withdrawn or it merges in until the seed sprouts again. But the seed still contains everything. As a Jivatma, you are still distinct from the Paramatman and you exist only within the Chittakasha, is my understanding. Sanjay, I don't know whether that technical answer or answer dealt with that technical question. So the Akasha always undergoes change in the created world until the GV merges completely. The Akasha and Prana at that point in time completely dissolve into the Paramatman, is the technical thing, I think. But as long as the GV is still in the Chandraloka phase, it is still within the Chittakasha world, and some of the Chittakasha material turns into something, as I would say. I hope that answers.
Thank you. Thanks, Aruna. Thanks, Satish.
So it's 4:32. So I think we will close the session for today and continue next week. And I'm sure Swami will guide us as we move on to get to understand more and more. Sairam, everyone, thanks for the discussion, and we will close with the prayer, Samasta Loka Shanti prayer. Sai. Om Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam, everyone.